Good afternoon, Scott Redler, Chief Strategic Officer at T3 Live. Welcome to Thursday's recap. It's always a little bit more fun on a Thursday, so I figured I'd take you to one of my favorite places. It's not quite Charlie Brown's, where I watch all the games with my son, but this place is typically good to a lot of Wall Street guys after a long week. But everyone some are celebrating, some are drowning sorrows, and the question is, where do you fit in that? Hopefully, you don't fit in there because even if you have a good week, a good month, what we always try and say is don't let your highs get too high, and if you happen to be in a little bit of a rut, try not to get your lows in too low. Try and be even keel, have your routine, follow it, like it, and just make sure that trading isn't just all you do. You have to break up your day. You have to have things outside in order to make sure you just don't define yourself by a red or green day. And recently, it's been a little trickier. I know that today wasn't an all-time high, so maybe we shouldn't be, out at the bar. We should be, in a bear hut or something. I don't know. I'm just babbling. Anyway, let's just go to the charts. I don't have a teleprompter, so I don't have anything witty to really say. I never have a teleprompter. It's usually just off the cuff. But so here's where we are. These are the spiders, okay, or the SPX. Look at this nice run we've had since the V bottom. Since the V bottom, we've been above the 8-day moving average, which has been a great roadmap to stay long, to use a tier system, to find good stocks. And is it getting a little wishy-washy up here? Yeah, a little bit. I know on Friday of last week we came in and looked like looked as if we could get a day or so of weakness, and we had some shorts on, and we got a day of weakness before reclaiming the 8-day. And then today, you had a bout of selling in the morning when Draghi did more jawboning and no real action, and then at lunchtime you had that move back to the highs because everyone thought, okay, there's a package coming now in January, whatever it may be. All I know is that your pivot was this 2066 and came right back and, a little loose and wide, but still in stride. If you go to the spiders, you'll see that, still above the 8-day. So, people ask me sometimes, like, how do you manage your positions? How do you manage your volatility? Today I came in with like 4 or 5 longs and a spider short. So when I come in with short the spiders at the top end of the range, what I try and do is, you get a move down like we saw, the spiders $1 off their highs, that's when I try and cover the spiders, and then I look at the positions that I have and see if they're acting well and see if I either add to them or take them off or find new positions that are acting well that have setups. So today, when the spiders went down $1, in the virtual trade floor, they saw me get flat the spiders underneath 207, and then at the end of the day, 55 cents higher, I have some longs on. There's a jobs report tomorrow. I put it back, and then I try and stick with trades that I think make sense. I'm typically lighter into a jobs report anyway. So you go back to the charts, and you'll see, let's just take a quick look around. What are the Qs doing? Some would say it's a little concerning that the Qs didn't make a new high when the spiders did, but at this point, it's still above the 8-day, and it's still acting, pretty well. You can't expect blockbuster moves after the move we've seen since the October lows, but there's definitely trades to be had. As far as the IWM, I would say a down day, but nothing to run for the hills with. If you look here, this was that move lower. Remember, it broke this upper area, which, from where it came from, which if you look at, from here about 113 to 118, a little pullback made sense. I actually came in to the start of this week short this, took the trade because we were but wanted to see if we'd stay below the 8 and 21 day, had to bounce back up, and now you had an inside day here. So the next session or so should be interesting to see whether or not this breaks above this little descending channel here. Can the IWM get above 117.71, or does it create a little bit of a right shoulder of what could be a little bit of a head and shoulders pattern, and then you have the neckline right above the moving averages. But for right now, the jury's out. It's acting, I would say it's neutral, okay? Let me get off of this. You look at the chart overall, take a little bit of a more broad-based look, and it's still hovering above, this downtrend after a really nice move since the red dog reversal lows right here at 104. And then when it, then it cleared also this, this little descending channel here, and this group has been trading very well with ascending and descending channels. When this trend broke right here, you're done being long. When this trend to the downside broke to the upside, you're done being short. And it's happened many different times. Some longer extension of duration, some shorter, whatever. So at this point, we'll see what happens here next. You do have a potential head and shoulders pattern, or you have a potential digestion spot before trying to take out these highs. I'd say the jury is out, and we'll figure it out. When the market resolves it, we'll go along with it. So, one of the concerns, I guess, for a lot of traders or people scratching their head is that a lot of these tech names, the high beta names, are just not acting the way they used to act, where, you have a day one and then you get a big day two, day three, upper level digestion, continuation, strong trends. They've been actually acting weaker, below moving averages now, not above the 8 and 21 day. And, they're sort of, momentum-wise broken. And they're rebuilding. So when they're in a momentum broken type stage, you take small little trades and you do not stick around and you do not sit in them. Some of these names that we've spoken about as being broken, people making money on the short side, you have your Tesla. Tesla right now, you look at the chart. Oh, we're going to be slow right now again? Okay, and you see how it broke this ascending channel here, okay, and LAD's listed as a short, and now it's trying to hold support here, but it's below all the moving averages. You do not just buy strength. You do not blindly, have position here. Okay, you take trades and you watch levels and you figure it out. At this point, it look at this. It's actually pretty crucial spot, right? It's on this long-term trend. So if this were to break, chances are Tesla is a lot different. Right now, it's just a little different. So you got to be careful there. I like to be in Tesla when it's above the 8 and 21-day moving average, pent up and going. It happened a few times. Now it's not. So when it's not like that, you wait. And that's why I'm not that active in Tesla. Netflix also, broken name. Okay, it's below all the moving averages. Is it, riding the 8 and 21-day like it did here for a nice momentum move before this exhaustion little top? No, it's below all the moving averages. It actually had a nice setup to the short side. The last few sessions you had a little upside, but that's all that is potentially. So one way you could use the red dog reversal is for a small tactical sell signal. So if you were playing, Netflix from the long side, thinking that maybe you got a small double bottom, or just because it's oversold, you had 1 day, 2 day, and then what happened here? It traded above a prior high, came back below, and it changed. So my mouse is a little sticky. So right there, hold on, let me get it. So right there, that's another sell signal. And now this could be actually a lower high. So you have to be careful. You don't just sit in Netflix after, a small sell signal like that. I also, I don't think it's broken, but Apple, I was a little bit more conservative with. I've been long it for the last 3 days, and today it pushed up into the 8 day. Sold some strength just to take some off because it was 3 days into the mid-range of that wide range down bar from Monday. And then it traded above yesterday's high and went back below. Do I think it's game over for Apple? I'm not saying that, but all I'm saying is, you had this small trend break here. It broke below the 8 day, put some volatility back in the stock. Then this was the day I got back longer when it held the 21 day, stayed in. And then today it broke above this 116.35 and then came below. So that is a short-term sell signal. Does it mean it's game over? Does it mean Apple's not going to be selling iPhones? Does it mean it's not going to have a run in January? It doesn't mean any of those things. What it means is if you're a trader and you respect ranges like this was a small little sell signal. And there it is. My guys are already in the bar drinking back there. He's just going back and forth. Anyway, here you go. 116.35, pushed through, came back below. Now you give it a little time. The sellers won this match. And if you look from where it was on that little flash low or even the day after, why not take a little bit off? Who knows? Maybe the option guys even wanted to print at 115, considering it was as high as 119, as low as 111. So that means a lot of people probably, bought puts down here or calls up there, so 115, and perhaps the options dealers win. So that's that. So I'm not long Apple overnight. So what's been good though is the banks. The banks, have not been, the greatest spot to be throughout the course of this year, but there are pockets on when they do well. Something that I've been long since 2 days ago was Morgan. And, at the end of the day, I chose to sell it because, in my opinion, yes, it's still acting well, and it's probably going to continue. But here's your red dog reversal. put it on the map. Here's your day 2. Get long. It's proving itself. Day 3, maybe you get longer in the morning and then you sell some strength, and then today I had it overnight and then I took sold some strength, because from here to here it's a nice trade. So now I'll see what's next. Doesn't mean that the bank rally's over. Okay, it means that this is a little extended. But I do have Goldman on still. Why do I still have Goldman on if it's lagging? Just because sometimes it starts to extend, and right now it's right at a level, this 192ish. If we were to break above, we get a strong jobs number tomorrow. It's now above the 821. This could be 194, 195. So it's not extended in my opinion. It's kind of still a setup here. Citigroup, I'm not in, but it looks fine. It actually gave you an inside bar. So with a little bit of time, this could probably continue. It's got to hold above this 54.50. Bank of America. Not blockbuster move, but from where it came from down here to 17 and change. This action doesn't really scare me, but it's telling me it needs a little bit more time above, just say 17.15. Then at some point, perhaps we get another move. So I am in here. I went out pretty long, and then bought some in the hole, like 17.15s, and then on that midday rally sold some 17.30s, and then I'm back in like a tier 1.5, and I'll see a little sideways action I think could be good, or maybe tomorrow with a stronger number it goes. So the banks, definitely a spot to be, and each week there's like a spot to be, a spot to focus on, that setup that money rotates to, and that's where it happened to be this week. The week before it was retail. Then we had, you even had a small bounce in the oil names earlier this week. Microsoft was a nice trade today. I'm not sure why I didn't take it overnight, but looks good above the moving averages, above the prior breakout area. Seems as if maybe tomorrow tries to get through this level and goes. I did go back to my arch nemesis this year, Google. I'm a glutton for punishment, I guess. This is below all the moving averages. Okay, not above them, but I'm kind of anticipating something here, I guess, where you have this descending channel, and it's been very controlled. Today it showed a little relative strength, and I do think at some point perhaps it breaks above it and does something better. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So I did take some today, so it's on the VTF. So I just want to kind of go over it, and we'll see what happens here. If it can continue. I bought it here and it failed, and I think I even tried it here and it failed. So why not try it one more time? I guess. Amazon. Some guys caught a quick little trade here, but again, this to me is a broken momentum name. You had a nice trade here above 308 after this higher low, and then on this engulfing day, which was Cyber Monday that they sold, changed it. Said no longer just sit in Amazon and think you can get bailed out. It means the momentum is gone, and be very careful. So this morning it did go from red to green and gave you a trade and then closed okay, but I wouldn't expect much here. Maybe it tries to rally to there, but it's to me it's more risky than constructive. G-Pro also, I don't see anything so great here either. Not yet. It's still, I guess you could say, it's in the middle of its range, or where it's consolidating what was a blockbuster move to start the year, which was very tradable for our community. This is when it was above the 8-day, when it was tight, when the shorts were trapped, and you had really nice action until finally here. It's when it broke, and then this is when it broke the 8-day itself, and then it turned into a consolidation phase. So perhaps at some point it can go again, but at this point, if you're going to sit and anticipate it, you could really knock your head against the wall, especially if it ticks up and you buy it and then it ends lower, and you keep doing that every single day. You might as well just sit and wait, or say I'm going to be long a little bit versus here, and I'll be long a little bit and maybe add versus there, and I just want to just keep track of it. But for right now, it's still not showing you anything special. Same thing with Facebook, not showing you anything special. Gave us a move over Thanksgiving, which I'm thankful for, because I do sell on day 3 or 4. That's why I do that. Wasn't expecting that to happen, but if you follow your rules, it's cool. And now I guess you could say it's getting a little tight in here once again, but I just think that people aren't really enamored with it, and something's going to really have to drastically change for this to get any better. If you're going to buy it next time it goes above 75.70, I guess it held a little higher than this if you want to hang your hat on that, but it's not that compelling. So that's why you don't see me trading it that much. I did buy it on this day and stay in, and I think sold it on this day, and when it broke this doji, that was it. I don't think I've touched it since, really. Twitter, broken name. It's been broken since earnings. Gap down, never filled it, had a few one-day wonders along the way, and I don't think there's any particular reason to be in this for now. Some are actually probably short, thinking it's going to break below this. And if it looks more like it will, but if you're not, I guess you have to either just be in it and let it work out, because if you try and press on these lows, it hasn't been that easy to do. So see what's next. That's really it. I don't want to continue to just babble. I'm just saying that market's close to highs. Europe had its first reversal. I don't know how it's going to act tomorrow because of the news over noontime today. You have the jobs number tomorrow. TLTs, that was a nice little trade, right? TLTs, we some guys got long for this move here, and I was like, you know what, you might as well sell some strength above 122, and then it came back in. Then you had a red dog reversal yesterday, and it closed the gap. I bought it yesterday, and I sold it right near the close. So for me, a day and a half is all I wanted there. I'm not so into the the TLTs and the thesis that growth is slowing and blah blah blah. I just am in the thesis of taking a trade, and there was your day and a half trade. I could continue, and it's great, but it's not the type of thing I want to have into the jobs report. And gold, some people are saying, what about gold? Gold still hangs around, but you have to really deal with the overnight risk. It was a nice trade here, but then when it looked like it was getting tight again, boom. If you got short there, you got squeezed there. Now it's getting tight all over again. I guess you could say it's wedging again. It's above 114.80, and at some point perhaps it might want to get up and test this bigger area, which actually it's pretty close. It's going to need something pretty crazy for this to get through there and see the 200-day. So, but at this point, at least there's a pulse, more of a pulse than there's been for the majority of 2014, considering the trend has been to the downside, and now it's just retesting this. So if you're in gold now, you must have a gold thesis. It's acting a little bit better. A little bit better. What's the GDX doing? It's nudging against this, I guess, 1980 area, and you have a little bit of a wedge here too. So at some point, it's going to resolve. I don't know if it continues the trend to the downside, because this has been in a crazy downtrend also. So all you had here right now is an oversold bounce. It's below all moving averages. So when sectors are like that, I just take a little cautious or caution. And the only reason to be in sectors like that is if you really have a thesis, and that means you're kind of thinking the market's going to do something before it confirms it, which is okay. But I would say just do it with less. But be ready if the market does confirm your thesis. Then you swing the bat and you try and put yourself in a better trade. Like Baba, I think my thesis is that at some point it breaks again. More to the upside than the downside. But I also thought the same thing here. But it broke to the downside, and I just stayed away. Now you could draw this. You could draw this a little bigger. What's going on here? Where, let me just make that line. Where it's now kind of wedging again. So the question is, which way is it going to go? And in my head, I thought it would be to the upside. Probably not. Tomorrow maybe they want to do a strike at 110. That would be good. And then maybe next week it breaks to the upside. But I'm not going to be in max size saying I'm going to be right, it's going to go. I'm going to be in a feeler and a tier, and if it starts to go and I see volume, then I get in it. Same way if you're max size short right here, you better be careful if that happens. But if you're thinking it's going to resolve again lower, then be in a feeler short and then wait for the market to confirm it. Even with this here, I was like Baba to butt. My thought process is telling me it's going to go to 120, but really, in here, I was in it, I was out of it, in and out of it, and then finally when it stuck and stayed above 90, I'm like, now it's for real. Or when it triggered and broke out above the post-IPO high, now you go with it. And it was also above the 8-day the entire time, and now it's in a corrective phase, and it's trying to hold the 8 and 21 day, and typically strong momentum names hold the 8 and 21 day. If it were to break below this, I probably get out, and then I wait all over again. But that's my thinking on, watching something, waiting for my thesis to get confirmed by the market, where I'm not anticipating it, because if I'm wrong, I don't want to lose a lot. If I'm wrong, I'll get a paper cut, and then I'll avoid a gusher. And that's what you do in the market. You try things, wait for the market to confirm it, and then you get in there with whatever size you feel comfortable. And hopefully you had a good week, and go light into tomorrow's jobs number. I'll be trading in Short Hills, and we'll figure it out more tomorrow. Have a great night. Maybe go to a bar, have a drink. Thirsty Thursday is what some people say, in Wall Street, and relax, unwind. I'm actually going to be at the Knicks game, going with a few guys. I know the Knicks are horrendous, but got a ticket to go, see the Cavs, and I'm a LeBron James fan, so see him up close. So if you're watching the game, this is what I'm wearing. Anyway, have a good night. See you tomorrow.